Hello, everyone. My name is Jillian Harrison-Jones, and I serve as the Associate Artistic Director for Elevate Vocal Arts. And I am so excited to be joined by the one and only Dr. Lori C. Hicks. Most people know,
Hello, Sister Doctor.
hello,
Soror friend.
yes, all of the above. Most people know you as a vocal coach, the creator of the 5S vocal method, a businesswoman, founder of LCH Studios, who coined the phrase, Dr. Lori Fix My Voice.
Yeah.
Are also an outstanding composer of choral and solo vocal work. So, for those out there that don't know, now you know Lori is a force. Okay.
Oh, thank
We're here to highlight one of Lori's most recent commissions entitled Elevate, which is an Elevate exclamation point, which is featured on Elevation's sophomore album, Are You Looking for Me? And this body of work is an exploration of faith and the various elements and forms that spark or challenge our beliefs or our humanity, and one of which is the element of joy, which this song Elevate spews. So we are, again are very excited to chat. Welcome, Lori.
Hi, thank you. It's an honor to be here and a part of this project and the whole movement, the whole
Mhm.
elevation movement. It really is an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for being on this journey with us. So, for our viewers out there that don't know who you are, shame on them. Tell us, where are you in the world or the nation? Where do you currently work? And how did you get specifically into composing?
I am currently in Raleigh, North Carolina. I am the music director at Triangle Grace Presbyterian Church. And I was just recently the director of opera theater at UNC Chapel Hill. And I have some other things on the horizon. So we'll just deal with the right now because that's all I have the capacity for. But so I am in North Carolina. I've only been here 2 years, but I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? And I started writing back then. I started writing I'd say my first composition was in high school at Renaissance High School. I was in the choir there under Nina Scott. And I would dabble at arrangements and things like that before then, but I never really had um, an outlet to be able to try things on. You kind of need the guess, what do you call them? Test bunnies or guinea pigs.
Yep.
And she encouraged everything that I was working on and gave me a platform to be able to try music out with the choir. We had a female ensemble, so I was writing music for a female ensemble there, which was called One Accord, and we evolved in college into Accord. So I was writing and arranging from about the age of 13, I can say officially, and then just really writing for what in front of me, right in front of me,
Mhm.
and just, yeah, whatever I was inspired by at the time. So I really had the freedom to explore and to find my own compositional voice before other things started to get imposed on
Mhm.
you like you should be writing this and you should be writing that.
Right.
So it just felt like a hobby, just kind of something I dabbled in. But
Mhm.
I did know at the time I had a unique ear for putting voices together, harmonies together. I love Take Six and Special Gift, which was a female version of Take Six to us, and they were out of Detroit. And so listening to them and transcribing their works and singing their music really informed my musical knowledge, my early musical knowledge, and vocabulary, if you will.
Mhm.
And then yeah, as I grew and as I had different outlets and different groups that I was a part of, I was always writing and arranging for the groups that I was in. And as a solo voice in undergrad, that's when my solo compositions really started to develop, and I started to explore that language. So it really started with just being in the group, and I hear things and I say, oh, that would sound cool. So I would just put it down. And that was back before we had the computers to do the work
Yeah.
for us.
Mhm.
So, I'm handwriting everything. I've got my little notepad and my little book, transcription paper, and I'm writing things out. And just, yeah, just something I enjoy doing. I just felt like it was a hobby, but it really was a part of who I was developing to be as a musician as a whole.
Yeah, well, we appreciate and love those humble beginnings, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
So, Elevate Vocal Arts is dedicated to performing works of a myriad of styles and backgrounds, especially genres that aren't authentically represented within the choral world. And there are very few good is the key word, hip hop performances worth performing because choir and rap and hip hop isn't a connection that composers are flocking to write, right? And so when we do get to write it, it's typically an arrangement of an existing song, which is fine, or it's original and cheesy, right? So very, I'm just speaking candidly.
I
So very
know.
few composers, there are some that exists, but very few that I have come across are writing good hip hop music for choirs, and you are one of those people. So can you talk us through your process specifically for writing Elevate and what inspired you as you were going through the process of writing this piece?
Well, you inspired me. I would not have thought to even do this if you had not said, "Sis, we can you do this?" And I don't know if you remember, but I was nervous at first. I was like, "Oh, a hip
Yeah.
hop choral? Are you sure?" So just being genuine, I
Mhm.
wasn't sure it was gonna come out not cheesy either myself.
Right.
But I one thing about and just our working relationship is
Mhm.
you've always presented me with a challenge when you ever you've commissioned a work. And I have just been honored to be able to step up to those challenges. And you have stretched me as a composer in the years that we've worked together. So for some reason you thought I could do it, and I was like, okay, well, if you think I can do it, let me go ahead and do it.
So I'm gonna put a pin right here and say one of the first we first met in what 2018 or so,
It was
2017.
pre-COVID. It was a couple years before COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
When I was the music director for Muse Cincinnati's Women's Choir, and there was a piece that we wanted to program, Mississippi Goddamn, but there was by Nina Simone, and there was no existing choral work, especially SSAA, that existed for it. And so I was looking around and asking various composer friends, like, who exists that could really do justice to this particular piece? And I believe I reached out to Marcus Garrett, and he was like, Lori, reach out to
Mhm.
Lori. So that's when I got all your information. And that was so for you to have written, if you don't know about Mississippi Goddamn, just a little plug, she put her foot in that song. And so me knowing what you could do with that, so if she could do that, she can do anything. So that's where my faith in you has come because you've always delivered. So absolutely. Hmm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when I get a commission, I'm always really nervous that I can meet the need of what's being asked, because I really write for myself. I don't really put things out there like, oh, I've got this new work. What I just write as it comes to me.
Yeah.
When I'm in a space where I can, kind of flow and compose. When I was in COVID, when we were all in COVID,
Mhm.
I had the time and space to kind of be more creative and let write more originals. But usually when I get a commission, I'm not really sure where the inspiration is going to come from, because it didn't originate from me. So going back to that, when you asked, I said, okay, well, let me see what's out here. And I did the deep dive and did not find anything that I could derive inspiration from,
Uh-huh.
uh, for the same reasons. So that process was, okay, where am I going to pull this inspiration from? So I actually, after searching for that, I got into, okay, what is the message going to be? And what does hip hop mean? And how can I translate to me? What does it mean to me?
Yeah.
And how can I translate it to a choral form?
Yeah.
So I just kind of got to my roots and my understanding and love of hip hop in the beat, the
Mhm.
message, And like the hook is always a thing for me. So I knew I wanted to have a fire hook. The
Mhm.
beat had to be the driving force, and then the message and how that message was articulated. So going, I said, okay, what message can I pull from? I don't know. I don't know. What do I do? What do I listen to? What do I say? And I wasn't finding anything in the current hip hop arrangements or anything like that. So I was like, okay, well, what they're about elevation, their name. So I went to you all's recording, the first album, and just listened and listened, and I just started to hear what the message was for the group as a whole. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to tap into. That's going to be the source of inspiration. And when I decided it would be to elevate our mindset, to elevate our community, to elevate our relationships, to elevate our spirit, to just elevate, just think higher, be better to each other. So when I really tapped into that, that's when I started doing a search for what are hip hop songs or just songs in general that speak to revolutionary ideas, um, unity, things
Yeah.
like that. And that's where I started to pull all these pieces of inspiration that I was able to meld together into all these quotes. So I was like, I didn't want to do an arrangement. I couldn't do an arrangement because that's not what you asked for.
Right.
But I definitely wanted to be able to kind of bridge the gap amongst the hip hop eras, but the message that transcends throughout all that, but to also kind of give you reminders or little quotes from all these things that say hip hop or say this message at the same time to us. So, if you know, well, I know you're going to get to that, but they're not just from hip hop songs that I'm quoting from, but I'm quoting from popular things that speak to the same message.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I
Mhm.
think this is a wonderful moment for us to take a pause and actually listen to just a small excerpt of the piece, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah,
Hey,
you know I want to hear the rap. You know I want to hear
of
the rap.
of course, I know, I know. So the recording just stopped just before the rap. So I'll speak the full text of it so everybody has full context of, especially once we get to the rap portion. But it says, elevate, we go high. Keep your head up and touch the sky. Started from the bottom, now we're all the way up. It's time to fly. It's time to shine. It's time to free your mind. Liberate. Let's create a world of love and not hate. No need to discriminate. All you need is love, for love's in need of love today. A brighter day, make the world a better place. We need to fight the powers that keep the people's power and shut them down. till we reach the highest ground. And everybody love, everybody bleed blood. One world, one tribe, one race, one vibe. UNITY of mankind. Heal the world because we are the world and we are family. People get ready. Get up, stand up for your rights because we going to be all right. Don't give up the fight. We need a revolution. Don't keep shining your light. And because when they go low, sorry, we go high. All right. So many different references. Can you talk to us a little bit about where you pulled from?
That's what I'm saying. Everything that I could find that spoke to unity and change um and speaking power to, I mean, yeah, truth to power and all of that.
Uh-huh.
So I did a deep Google search and I was just writing down titles. And
Uh-huh.
then with those titles came the now I'm forgetting all my terminology. The motive came, the motive for the for from the song. So I was piecing together motives by the message, and then as well as, so I just kind of, I had to keep reworking and
Yeah.
reworking to for it to flow in a way that made sense, but I was still quoting each one of these songs. I was in my notes app all the time
Mhm.
and my voice recorder app all the time, just kind of speaking it, as well as to be able to do it. Because I know one thing I did take or borrow
Mhm.
from some of the arrangements that I heard was when the choir would go into rap, but in three-part harmony. That
Mhm.
I thought was, I was like, okay, I definitely want to do that.
Yes.
So that everybody had to flow, everybody had to rap. So then I had to think about, okay, I can't make it to, first of all, I don't rap. So if I could do it, then I know everybody else could. But I had to
Yeah.
make sure I gave space for each one of those quotes to ring out and be heard, and again for that overall message to
Mhm.
be understood. So, yep, I it's kind of a blur too. Yeah, everything came together because once you put it out there, you're like, okay, I'm done. So.
It's all in God's hands now, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was I'll tell you, there were times I'm like, oh, this is cheesy. This ain't gonna work. And all of a sudden you put in with the beginning of what everyone heard. I definitely wanted this growing cadence, this Rosedian cadence, if you will, where everything was kind of layered and you get everything on top of each other.
Mhm.
So I just wasn't sure when I was doing it that it was actually gonna, yeah, sound like anything. But yeah, I just kept going with it and the inspiration kept flowing. And here you have it.
It's a bop. Me, the
We
record.
go high.
We go high. Well, I hope that especially within the excerpt that you just heard, that we did justice to the vision that you had for the piece. I know we had a blast learning the song and really
Yeah.
bringing the different layers to life. So I hope that you are pleased with our interpretation of the piece.
Yes, and I'm glad you added the keys
Mhm.
because I wasn't sure. I didn't want it to interfere with all the things that were happening, but you can't really have a hook without like ding 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 ding. I also wanted to
Mhm.
kind of have
Uh-huh.
something going on in the keys. So I'm glad with the drummer as well. I'm glad you
Yeah.
all added that. Yep.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm so glad that you're pleased.
Yeah.
Again, we had such a blast learning this piece. It's so fun, and I hope that others, when they hear the piece, that they are inspired to do their own hip hop arrangements, of course, that are good and authentic, but also perform this piece as well and come directly to you for said commissions because
Yeah.
you're the one. So if people do want to get in touch with you to commission you or to get you to come to their schools or work with them in any capacity, how do people get in touch with you?
Reach right on out at lchstudios.com. I do answer my own messages.
Mhm.
And I've got my training programs, my exercises and warm ups. I'm actually going to work with the church choir this Friday. So I'm still going out and doing workshops and master classes with churches and schools. Um, July, hopefully, I'll take a little bit of a break. But um, and I'm not working on any compositions right now. I'm working on my training programs. But you can just send me a message on the website, or you can DM me at my Instagram. And again, I answer all my messages. So yeah, if you're interested, you can also, when you go to the website, you can go to my store and see the other compositions that I have available. So all my solo works and my choral works are on there as well. Not all of them, but the majority of them that I have released out to the public are right there on the website.
Perfect. Well, it's
Yeah.
always a pleasure to chat with you.
You too. You too.
Thank you all so much for tuning into today's live, and check out Elevate on Elevation's sophomore album, Are You Looking for Me? Talk
Thank you.
soon.
Bye.